Chris Matthews and Tulsi Gabbard, and the first question is to you. Tulsi, should women be required to register for the military draft? I saw this. This is so interesting. The Democrats, so great at politics. I don't know why they brought it up now. I mean, men, I almost forgot this. Men do still have to register for the draft. Nobody gets as...
Well, this is actually something that they also just changed in the legislation through the National Defense Authorization Act. Just a few weeks ago, is now men don't have to register because they're automatically...
Alright everyone, today's video dives into a heated moment that set the stage on fire with Bill Maher. Tulsi Gabbard and Maher went head-to-head in a tense exchange that escalated quickly once the military draft came into focus. Especially the controversial idea of requiring women to register. Just when things couldn't get more intense, Chris Matthews jumped in with his own perspective, adding fuel to an already explosive debate. Tulsi didn't hold back, blasting politicians for dragging the country into endless wars the American people never asked for. Bill pushed back just as hard, questioning why this conversation was happening now, with a major election looming. What started as a policy discussion quickly turned into a high-stakes clash over war, power, politics, and the future of the US military. In this video, we break it all down. What was said, what was left unsaid, and why it matters moving forward. Trust me, this is one debate you don't want to miss. Let's get into it.
The Democrats, so great at politics. I don't know why they brought it up now. I mean, men, I almost forgot this. Men do still have to register for the draft. Nobody gets as...
Well, this is actually something that they also just changed in the legislation through the National Defense Authorization Act. Just a few weeks ago, is now men don't have to register because they're automatically registering them as soon as they turn 18.
Okay.
So you don't have to actually, you don't get to fill out a card or anything anymore.
But I remember I was about to be registered when I just turned 17 in 1973 when they were still drafting for Vietnam, and it was like, that was the year. It was like, oh, we're not, oh, I was like, oh boy, did I luck out on that one. But they still registered you. Now the Democrats in an election year have brought this up for I don't know what reason, saying now we want women to register because there's 250,000 women in the military right now. And if something was so catastrophic that we did have to draft people, why shouldn't women go? But why bring it up in an election year are my two questions.
Well, first of all, we shouldn't have a draft.
At all?
No, I don't think so.
What if it's an emergency?
Well, the fact that they're bringing this up now, to me, points to the fact that the only reason we would need a draft is because our warmongering politicians are starting wars that they know the American people aren't going to support.
All right, let's break down one of the most explosive moments of the night. Bill Maher looked genuinely baffled, clearly questioning why Democrats would even bring up mandatory draft registration for women right now, in the middle of an election year. He pointed out the obvious. Men are already automatically registered at 18, and there's no active draft looming. So why stir up this particular hornet's nest? Maher framed it as political self-sabotage. In his view, introducing such a controversial issue risks alienating voters at a time when people are far more focused on real, everyday struggles, the economy, healthcare, rent, just getting by, not hypothetical wars. To him, it was another example of Democrats seeming completely out of touch with what voters actually care about. Then Tulsi Gabbard stepped in, and she didn't come to play. She made it clear this wasn't just about opposing women being drafted. She's against the draft entirely. Her argument cut straight to the core. The only reason a draft would ever be necessary is if politicians keep dragging the country into reckless, unnecessary wars that most Americans never wanted. As she put it, this isn't about equality or fairness. It's about laying the groundwork for more war. Tulsi referenced moments like Pearl Harbor and 9/11, when Americans willingly volunteered because there was a clear, immediate threat. Then she contrasted that with conflicts like Iraq and Afghanistan, where public support was shaky from the start. Her message was simple, sharp, and powerful. Americans will step up when it truly matters, but they shouldn't be forced to fight wars driven by political agendas rather than genuine national defense. It was easily one of the most intense exchanges of the night, leaving behind serious questions about the direction of the country and who really calls the shots when it comes to war and peace.
all across the country set aside their lives and volunteered because they wanted to go and fight for freedom and security and for peace. And you look at what happened after the attack on 9/11, so many Americans like myself, we enlisted to be able to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. And so when you look, to me, it's a big red flag that they're bringing this up right now. First of all, as we have multiple wars burgeoning around the world. But as a you know, I've been deployed 3 times to different war zones. I don't want to be in a foxhole next to somebody who doesn't want to be there. First of all, that bond and that trust that exists between servicemen and women who are, you know, bullets are flying is so essential. You don't want to have somebody next to you who's like, hey, I don't want to be here. I don't want any part of this. That
it's
creates
just numbers.
a huge problem.
Come on. Sometimes
Well,
it's just
you're
numbers.
talking about life and death.
I mean
you're talking about life and death.
I know, but exactly. And if we need that numbers of troops, they just aren't. The people in Gen Z, they're not going to volunteer. I've seen videos of them talking about it. I'm like, no, you're right. This generation can't do it. The number of people you're going to have is just going to be, it's going to be a smaller force. I mean, compared to, how many, there's over 1 billion Chinese people if the war breaks out with them. I mean, I don't want to get cataclysmic about
These wars don't just happen out of thin air. I think that's my point.
No, but we didn't start them. We didn't invade Ukraine and we didn't attack Israel. That's a silly thing to say.
All right, Maher pushed the conversation even further, calling out what he sees as a major generational shift. He pointed directly at Gen Z and their growing reluctance to serve in the military. And he wasn't just speculating. He referenced the flood of viral videos where young people openly say they have zero interest in joining the armed forces, with some even joking about dodging the draft before it's ever been reinstated. Maher wasn't laughing. To him, this isn't just a social media phase, it's a serious warning sign. His argument, past generations, whether they agreed with specific wars or not, still felt a strong sense of duty to defend the country. There was a cultural expectation around service, patriotism, and answering the call when the nation needed you. But that mindset, he argues, is disappearing fast. The concern cuts deep. If the US were to face a major conflict again, would there even be enough people willing to step up and serve? Or has years of disillusionment with government, combined with the trauma and fallout from wars like Iraq and Afghanistan, left an entire generation feeling like this fight simply isn't theirs? This is where the conversation gets uncomfortable. This isn't about Gen Z being lazy or soft, as critics love to claim. It's bigger than that. It's about trust, whether people believe the cause is legitimate, whether leaders are being honest, and whether the sacrifices being asked of them actually mean something. If that trust is gone, Maher may be onto something. The future of military recruitment, and maybe even the foundation of national defense itself, could be hanging by a thread.
That's it. That's been true from the very beginning.
Does that mean giving up Ukrainian land?
It means, I think, both sides, like in all treaties, will end up having to surrender some portion of what they want in order to achieve that peace treaty. The sad thing is that it is the Ukrainian people and their lives who are being expended the longer this war goes on, even though those who are actually paying attention know that this is only ever going to end at any point with that negotiated peaceful.
Coming from the other side of the debate, Tulsi Gabbard brings something most politicians simply don't: real-world experience. She's served in the military. She's seen war up close. For her, these aren't abstract theories or political talking points. This is lived reality. Tulsi makes it clear. War isn't an intellectual exercise or a campaign strategy. It's life and death. It's the real cost of sending people into harm's way. Her position is firm. War should always be the last resort, only used when absolutely necessary to protect the country and defend the freedoms we value. She emphasizes the human toll, lives lost, permanent physical injuries, and mental scars that follow service members long after the fighting ends. Her perspective isn't driven by ideology, it's grounded in experience. And it raises an uncomfortable but essential question: are we being responsible in how we talk about war? Bill Maher is known for his sharp commentary and no-nonsense approach. He doesn't beat around the bush. He goes straight to the point, often exposing the hypocrisy of politicians and media figures. Maher's style is not only filled with wit and humor, but he also challenges the public in cultural debates, forcing audiences to think critically. Whether discussing politics or social trends, he dissects issues with precision, turning controversies into moments of insight. His approach is blunt, unapologetic, and always intellectually engaging, making him one of the most distinctive and powerful voices in talk shows and debates today.